Hey guys, Unclejona here, back with a beer review. And this beer it's another one coming from the Beer 52 Awards, but I cannot find what award this brewery won because it doesn't seem to be part of the main award. So it's an award within an award. Does that make sense? Anyway, we are looking at this one. It's the American Pale Ale from Astra. Um, an American Pale Ale with Simcoe and Amarillo, it looks like, which is definitely going to be an orangey kind of thing going on as far as my tastes are concerned. But we shall see. It's a hazy, juicy American Pale Ale. Fluffy oats with lots of Simcoe and Amarillo, bursting with tropical flavours, papaya orange with a touch of pine, and a soft mouthfeel. I always quite like a soft mouthfeel. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, here is the actual beer. It's all at a sort of angle, isn't it? Ad Astra Brewery, 4.7% on the ABV. And we have some propaganda on the back. It's got that weird sort of Pac-Man eye thing going on, which is, it looks like a ghost, but in a round thing. Bit of a weird one. Hey, guess what? That's exactly what they printed in the magazine. Definitely got some oats and wheat. So it's going to be a hazy pale, in my humble opinion. And we're at Friday already. Can you believe it? Another week down, and it's Black Friday because Black Friday matters apparently. And there is actually, I don't know if you're watching this on Friday, but there is a deal to be had with regards to beers. Well, a couple of deals actually. One's from Beer Merchants, which, as I've said to you before, dear listener, hey, I might be able to do that weird thing with I turn the invert the can nipple. I might be able to do something like that and do a levitation. Ooh. And then you probably saw that as the front of the video. That's how it's done. Yeah, Beer Merchants and Beer, what was the other one? Beer Nuts, I think was the other one. Both with small discounted offers. And if you order today, I think it's 15% you get off, which is okay if you're in the market for buying beer. But there aren't, I don't know about you guys, but there aren't as many deals as there were this time last year, which is weird. Fast disappearing head, which has given me maybe a fingernail's worth of nice white foam, and as suspected, totally see-through. Nice colour. It's definitely kind of a pale ale colour, but this is an American pale ale, so this is not calling itself an IPA, but it's a hazy pale ale, basically. It's because it's not strong enough. If this was a tiny bit stronger at 4.7, this one is. If this was 5, I guarantee they'd call this an IPA. But American Pale Ale is quite a good style too, and it's, for me, it's a hazy pale. Let's get into this damn thing. Oh, yes. Quite hoppy. Not as juicy as I'd thought. There's quite a sharp kick to that. I mean, it is kind of juicy. I'm getting a little bit of a wash, but it's zesty as well. Definitely getting the orange. Maybe the orange zest. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Tropical fruit wise. For me, not really. I mean, you could argue that instead of orange, it's kind of more melon, grapefruit type stuff, but it's not sharp enough to be proper grapefruit. So yeah, I'm sticking with orange, mandarin, something along those lines. And then the finish, because obviously the juiciness has kind of washed my palate clean. The finish is quite zesty as well, but it's not as hoppy and zesty as it was at the beginning. Pardon me. This is quite a sharp beer up front. So maybe from that side of things, that might be why they referred to it as juicy. However, this is definitely not the same as a juicy IPA. The wheat and oats haven't really polished this as much as I thought maybe they would. If this hadn't had the wheat and oats in, my God, this would be very, very bitter and sour purely from the hops. So maybe they've chucked the oats and wheat in just to take the edge off a little bit. There is also like a bit of residual sweetness there, but that kind of get lost because that zestiness, that hoppiness up front, it's like a knife, it cuts through everything else. So if you like a kind of fruity beer, especially if you like your orange fruits, and you don't mind that it's quite zesty, quite in your face right at the beginning, maybe this is a beer for you. And it's a UK brewery too, so you might still be able to find this. Ooh. 4.2 on the ABV. You could probably sink a fair few of these. I have had hazy IPAs that basically taste exactly the same as this. Not my favourite combination of hops. They're too similar. They're doing the same kind of thing. Yeah, it's kind of all a bit one directional for me, and not in the Harry Styles meaning of the term. Um, yeah, I mean, it is nice. It's a nice beer. Instead of calling it a session IPA, which I don't believe in, they've called it an American Pale Ale. I reckon you could get away with just calling this a standard pale ale. There's nothing really unbelievable about this beer. It is pretty standard fare, shall we say. I'm not saying that that's bad, but there are more interesting offerings. Perhaps that's why it didn't win any awards in the award session of the Beer 52. Who knows? We do, however, have, wow, some lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, for the 4 sips that I've had, or 3. Um, that last sip, and I don't know if it's because I'm having a lot of IPAs of late of all sorts of descriptions, but even if you've left it in the fridge overnight, the kind of hop oils, you would have thought they'd float to the top of the beer, but in my opinion, they don't. They sink to the bottom. So if you're drinking a beer, and as you do, you leave whatever amount for your last sip, that is always going to be stronger in flavour than perhaps a particulate, maybe. It's not, let me think, it's not as hoppy because you get the hoppiness right at the first sip, and then your receptors are used to it. But whatever it is, the taste, the oomph, the oil stuff, I always find the flavour, the taste seems to be stronger in the last sip. Um, yeah, and that one is no different to ones I've had previously. So that was, and I'm more than happy to turn it to the side, Ad Astra, the American Pale Ale. The can's pretty trippy and psychedelic. It's got some sort of weird kind of motif on there. Who knows? Maybe it's a rune of some sort, or some evilness. Could even be a postmodern Cthulhu, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know. Not a bad beer, not a bad brewery to seek out, to be perfectly honest. However, it's not won any awards this year, and yeah, it's a bit too generic, really. Just another generic pale ale. So that probably won't hit my beers of the year for 2022, but quite a nice one if you decide to seek it out, especially if you like oranges and sort of juicy fruits and mandarins and that kind of thing. Anyway, this has been Uncle Jonah. It's Friday night, so I think I might order some takeaway food. Why not? And we'll see you tomorrow for another beer review. And until then, guys, remember, drink beer because it does make you smarter.